Hi, I'm George from Maverick Mansions. Usually we speak about real estate that produces more energy than it consumes. And lately we speak about furniture that we build and we design with AI. However, within this video, I will show you like a totally, absolutely, totally new way growing chickens, like the real estate part of the chicken coops that you never seen before. And the chicken coops, like they will be so amazing. It will be like 10th or like 20th the cost to build it compared to like industrial chicken coops, and you'll be able to outcompete like anybody in the market. So even if others have like a $1 billion project, if you do it like this way, you will be able to start with $100 or even less, and you will be able to win it like in a few years. And I want to show you like the real estate part of it, like the building, the architecture, like how to actually build it to be in a competitive advantage. Because you can build like printing money, you can build for free. Like one thing, and the other advantages would be that the coop itself cleans itself. It won't be a necessity to like pay a lot of persons to do the cleaning. It will be like everything. It will be organical. And I'm not saying like, yeah, the chickens are in the outside. Yeah, they are outside. It's like obviously they are there. However, they need a place like to hide when it's like raining or like from the predators or from like rats, foxes, maybe bears. And the third one that I like, the third biggest idea that I have here, I will walk you through like three different versions, like not three, like many versions, like starting from the Sahara, from the desert, where you can do literally like stop the desertification, and you will be able to regain like land, and you will be able to do farmland for on person's land for free if you go there with your chickens, and you'll be able to conquer the avalanche zones like in high in the mountains, or like you will be able to build it even in Antarctica, like even in that world it will work, with the free laying chickens. Because if we think about it, there are like a lot of places that we don't use it for now, because in the desert it's like too hot, and we can go up on the mountains, because on the mountains we have like issues as well. For example, if you put the chicken coops, you can't really put them like in a 45-degree angle, because you can move a chicken tractor there, you can move with the car, but within these versions it's like really, really, really easy to like conquer all of the planet and to produce food for the masses. And it will be easy, it will be free, and it works extraordinarily well where like you're like a one-man army, or if you're like a super huge corporate, it works like the same. And the main idea, and I will walk you through, for example, from the basics, like the logics, like what we think about chicken, why we are thinking it wrong, and why everybody in the industry is doing it wrong. I'm just saying, like, they're like, I just call the elephant in the room, because I read something on the internet about how chicken should be, and nobody respects them, because we idealize an idea how we should keep chicken, and we are doing it wrong. And if we do in the good way, and we build actually like the housing, like the real estate part of it, in that way, that means the cost will go down to like a 10th or like a 20th. And even like the manpower, like everything, it'd be like so cheap, and it will literally clean itself like organically, like sustainable, like animals, like microbes, and everything will clean up the mess. And all of the diseases, all of the thing that we usually have around like a lot of poop, it won't occur, or like the bugs and all of the things that follow usually the chicken, it will go away. And we make like a home that's like perfect. And let me show you how it works. And usually persons will give away like the best ideas at the beginning in the video, and usually I strive to do that. However, in this video it will be harder, because it's not like two or three things and I say, okay, you do that, it's like a false advertisement. No, I want to show you like the nuance differences and how it actually works. So I want to show you like not giving you the fish, I will want to teach you how it works, and I want to teach you like how I started to think about it, why I come up first with the idea, like what was good in it, what was bad in it, and afterwards when I started to draw to myself like in 3D, because I finished architecture, so for me it was like really easy to do so. I started to make like different versions, like let's say how it should look, or let's say, oh, you have to position the chicken like here, oh, the chicken poops like that way, or like, oh, the predators comes from this direction. And when you do that, you have like a thing that it's not actually working. However, it contains the concept, like the basic idea, but it's not like easy to build it. It's not cheap to do so. And afterwards, I started to like kick out things with it because I said, oh no, that's actually we don't need that. Let's throw it away. Let's throw it away. Let's throw it away. And afterwards, it was so easy and cheap that you would be able to build like things for pennies. And I want to show you like the complicated versions, like the worst version, because everybody will say, yeah, I understand what you get there, like what you draw here. It's simple, it's cheap, and let we do it in our way because we are smarter. And I don't want to question you that you are smarter than me or not. I never had a chicken, so probably you are. And if you're watching it, probably you care about chicken more than I will ever do. But but the idea is I want to show you that the, let's say, how I say it, like the ease of the solution. You have to appreciate that one, that it's not complicated. And that's why I want to show you at first how I overly complicated it, and I want to show you my first ideas, why they work, but why they are extremely expensive and not efficient. So when you will see like the really simple planes, like keep it super simple version, then you will say, okay, I get it now, and you won't overcomplicate it. So something that should cost you like $20, you won't make it like $2,000. Like the Indian American YouTube tutorial videos. I don't want to be mean here or something, but persons in India they can do things with like $3 that the Americans and we the Europeans may make it like with hundreds of dollars or like $10,000. So just keep in mind, the accent is like making it really simple. And I like the following images, like the architecture and like the design of it, because it's so bad. I mean, it's 99% of the things will throw out, and it will remain like a $20 investment, and you'll be able to keep like hundreds and hundreds of chickens in the self-cleaning coop there. But I want to show you like the basics. So probably you won't like it because I will tell something that everybody knows, like I will face like the elephant in the room. So we think about chicken like birds. It's made to sleep or like to rest on the ground, and usually we don't think about it. So birds usually they do like extremely well in cold weather. So if it's not like a hurricane, like with a minus 20 degrees Celsius, or I don't know what's in Fahrenheit, but it's like really cold and it's not blowing the wind directly in their feathers like some icy water, they will be fine. So if you make like a wind barrier for them, it's more than enough, like a wind barrier, and you keep the moisture down. I mean, it's not raining on them directly. However, we need to, they have like one weak spot because they do extremely well in cold weather. So we shouldn't address that. So we don't need like big factories. We shouldn't like start to insulate them because they do well. They don't really get along with like the cold weather related to their feet. So sometimes when they rest, they need to have like a really, really, really warm environment. So our focus will be not to keep the chicken in like the best like heated up environment and like to look like amazing. No, we don't want that. So we ignore like 99% of the problems that persons think that, oh, we need like a chicken coop because they have to be in the inside or heated, or we need a lamp near them. Yeah, sure they need, and probably they would do better, but without it they would just do fine. And I'm not like somebody who wants to kill animals and I want to harm animals. It's not about that. I'm just telling we are overcomplicating things. It's like not letting the dog in the water because they will drown. It's not gonna happen, like or like with the turtle. But we need to concentrate on something that nobody does, like on their feet. So what we do, we put the chicken on their feet with their feet on a slab or like a wooden something that's like, let's say like that, and the whole chicken can put their ass on it, so it's like ground. However, there's the fourth problem that we see. So usually chicken are like really peaceful. It's like they are one of the peacefulest animals on the planet. However, there's a problem because if they say there's like a danger or it can be a potential of danger, they start to fight for the upper parts. So if you put them in the hierarchy, so they're like spots on the upper part, on the lower part, or on the ground, then we'll make them like aggressive because they will, not that they want to harm the other chicken, they just say, hey, I'm stronger than you, why should I die? Let you die first. So it's like in a passive aggressive way they start to fight because they want the better spots. So what's the solution? We put them on the same level. That's it, and it's easy. However, what was the problem? Because back then the chicken, like, they were like on the ground, or they found some bushes, in the natural environment, and they get along. It was fine. However, we started to think, okay, we build a coop so like the raccoons or like the wolf won't eat them. Okay, so I understand the logic, what we had like hundreds of years before, or like 1,000 of years before. However, the problem was, after a while we invented the idea that, oh, the chicken poop is there, so somebody has to clean it. And if the chicken are on the ground, it's like way, 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 way harder to clean things. So we put some things in the air so they can fly on it, but they are not in the same level. And in that circumstances, their feet are exposed to the cords, and they exposed to the rats or like the animals they want to harm them. So we have to put the chicken in the upper part, because like the defense system is like really good. So if it's like 1 meter, 2 meters, when the rats can jump, I'm not sure here. I think I read an article about it. I think the rats can jump like 1.5 meter away. I don't know that in feet, but it's like that one. And if we put the chicken coop, like not the chicken coop, but like the place that the chicken sleep, like a little bit higher, that means the rats or like the mouse won't be able to get to the chicken. So it's not a possibility. So we put them up, we put them on the same level, and we put like wooden slabs like that one underneath them. So even if it's like really, really, really extremely cold, their feet will be like protected from the wind. And they can go up, they can jump up, they can fly up. Sure, I didn't like kill myself with the details, so you make some things that they will be easily, they will have like an ease of access to the upper parts, but the rats or like the other animals or like the snakes won't be able to make it, because they can fly, so it's not like rocket science, we can figure it out. And what I did here, actually, I built a building. So that was like my first idea of slow. Look, I had like one, okay, the chord. Second, we shouldn't have like wind. The third, the fourth, like the fifth. So I made this design like model, like it's a total kitsch. Or let's say it looks fine, but my only problem is it's overcomplicated. And that's why I wanted to show you, like to share with you like the image. You don't want to do that. You want to just keep the essence and throw everything away from here. I'm not even showing to you, but the main idea, I have like a lot of elements here, it's irrelevant. So let me show you like one of the best like shortcuts, or how you can do the same within like $20. And I will show you afterwards how it works in the desert, how it works in the avalanche area, how it works in the Arctics, how it works like in Europe, like Middle Europe, and how it works in Norway, where it's like. So I will show you like in 10, 15 different climate variations, like how you should do it. And it looks totally different. So it's not even like the same. It's not even like, oh, the same color and we put a little bit upper, or like one is underground and the other one is like 2 or 3 meters above the ground, and they have to jump up actually. So look, now we are at video 02. So the whole construction, it will cost like maybe $200 and most, and will house like hundreds of chicken. So look, one, it's elevated. So it's like really hard for like a raccoon or snake or like a wolf or like something that it will want to eat them to go there, because they're like maybe 2 meters, like 2.5 meters above ground level. And sure, you will ask like, yeah, but chicken can go there. But trust me, if you build a ladder or something that it's easy for the chicken and it's like harder for other animals, it won't be a problem. So okay, nothing. If we see the structure, it's like a really, really, really thin of metal. It's really, really inexpensive. And afterwards, like the structure itself, like the black piece that you see, it's like the HDPE, I think. This is the cheapest material that you can find at the construction sites. They use it for foundation. So when you have the foundation of the house, and it's like you have the earth near it, they put a layer, like a barrier, like a water barrier. And that's the most and the hardest plastic ever. I think like a 2 meter, like I don't know in feet, but 2 meters, like I think 6 or 7 feet, like a tall person, or like 50 meters, like a Olympic swimming pool. It costs like maybe $20, so it's like really inexpensive, and that acts just for like the water barrier and the wind. So it stops the wind. And let's say if the height of the black thing is like that, you put the chicken in the middle or like the upper one third. Why? Because if you put them there, then the wind will never ever blow them directly. The wind will go like beneath them, and the whole structure and like the whole big forces and the big wind won't affect the structure. And like as an additional thing, you might put like four cables at the four ends, so this way you will get a way to build like even with less materials, because I don't want to get in the engineering part now, but like the triangles, if you have a triangle, it's like way easier to stabilize something than if you would build it with like way more materials at the 90-degree angles. So it would be like really cheap to do it. And in the middle, if you see in the videos, they are like the wooden slabs, because they can go there and they sit there, And I made a hole in the two ends, so you actually can see what's happening in the inside. And in the sunny day, you can make it in a way that it's ventilating. So it's like if you're like in the summer and it gets like a 50, 60 degrees up there, you will make a ventilation. I just wanted to show you like the easiest concept, like to see it. And what I like it here, because it's so cheap, you won't be able, you are not even necessarily to move them, because you might leave them there and you move the chicken in another direction for like 2 3 weeks or like 2 months. I'm not sure like how often should they migrate, but I know they migrate, and afterwards they come back. Scabies or I don't know, like bugs, they will die there alone because the chicken went away like overnight. And you can't do that with like normal houses. And the third one, because you have like the HDPE material, like the plastic, the chicken won't. Let's say like for the bugs and for all of the animals that want to harm the chicken, or like the viruses or like for the bacteria, it will be really hard to harm them, because you can clean them like really easily. From the outside it will clean, and from the inside, if you don't let the chicken to go near the wall, so you put like maybe again, I don't want to say like nails, but if you invent something that the chicken will avoid to go at the end of the wood, so they will keep a distance like 20 centimeter from the black HDPE, that means they won't be able to poop on it, and it will be like almost always clean, because nothing will stick to it. It will be like a sheet of plastic, with nothing in it. So if you have the bacteria, and one day, like it's a sunny day, and even if it's a cold climate, even if we're in a spring or we are in the autumn, because the material is black, the temperature will go up, and what happens? It will destroy the viruses and the bacteria, because they won't be able to resist the heat, like the 30, 50, 60 degrees Celsius. And what happens? For 3 hours, maybe you have a ventilation system, or maybe the chicken will go just down and they will hide under a bush or something. And I don't want to be, again, like, oh, I don't care about the chicken. I will say, okay, it's a method to kill the viruses and the bacteria. Sorry, you're not killing the viruses because they are not living, but to eliminate them. So it's a good idea. And sure, you can make the ventilation in it. You can make like a cabrio that it's opening in the upper part. You can make like a ventilation in it. But the main idea is you can really like let it like that. So sometimes like once in a 2 weeks or like in an X period, let the heat accumulate and it will kill everything in the inside. And the chicken just go down, so it won't be a problem. Probably. They are not stupid. So they will go down and they will hide under the bush. And please don't think like I want to harm animals and I don't want to care about them. I'm just telling like I'm actually doing that, like caring about them. Yeah, and it's really easy to move them if you want to actually move it, because it's like lightweight, and you can disassemble it. You can make it like in a way that's like you put in a car and you put like maybe 100 of those in a pickup truck and you just go like a mile away. And the idea that I like here, you can put it everywhere. So for example, if you're like in an alpine area and you want to push the chicken like really heavily in the summertime, let's say you're producing chicken for meat, then you bring the small chicken in the summer there, you let them there till the autumn, and afterwards you just pack them up, and because it will come to avalanche area or like the snow area, nobody will be harmed. So the things won't be destroyed because the snow wouldn't get to the construction, if you leave the chicken for the winter they will be fine probably, you know. And if you have like an area that you have avalanches it, you can just like pack them. And in a few videos, like maybe at like the 20th video, I will show you how to make it permanently, like in an area that you have like avalanches, and you make it in a way that the chicken will survive even in the winter when there are like avalanches all over the time, you know. And I will show you how to do so. Or like in Norway, where it's mostly it's like winter time, and you will be able to push it the breeding chicken season for almost all year. Not the breeding, but it will be easier for the chicken, you know. They will be out all the time, and they will be like way more happy, and they will start to lay more eggs. So now we are at the third video, and it's actually almost the same, but I wanted to emphasize on the idea that you can keep the structure like really lightweight if you put like four cables on the ends, you know, on the four ends, because that's why if the wind is blowing it will remain like easily in the same position, you know, because we have the space, we have the grass there. Why should we remain on the single spot, you know, to make like really powerful? No, we shouldn't. We put like a metal that's like thin as this, and afterwards you just counterfeit the wind with the metal cable, and that's all. So it's like an engineering part, but you think about it like, yeah, but it doesn't matter because we want to build it like really powerful, but you shouldn't, and that's why I'm talking about, because the end of the day, the question is like $1 of investments, how much money will bring back in a way, or how much chicken they will be happy from your dollar, you know? So think about that. You shouldn't like throw money away just because you want to throw it away. So make a lightweight structure and put like four cables, and that's it. That's all, folks, you know, and you can grab like maybe 10 or 20 constructions like that and put it in a pickup truck in the backside, and you can move them like easily, you know, when the winter comes, if you want to pack it up, you know. Or or if you buy the materials, it will be like way easier for you in your own garden to like make them, you know, you assemble them, and afterwards in one day with like 2 persons or 3 persons you can assemble like 50 constructions like that, and that means like thousands of chicken, you know. Imagine the profit, you know. So it's not the same, you know. So here it's not like a big difference, it's like a nuance difference, and that's what I wanted to tell you, that sometimes we have to make a big difference, but here we just put in the lower part like like imagine like a polytunnel. And what happens in the winter when it's like really cold and it's windy, you know, you just literally stop the winds. And what happens there when you stop the winds? All of the heat or all of the warm water will go up for the chicken. So it's like the best thing that can happen, because maybe it's like minus 20 degrees, 20 Celsius degrees, like it's freezing in the outside, and it will be like Hawaii in the upper part for the chicken, you know. So now we're at video 5. So that's built for like the endurance. That's built for like the avalanche areas, not like the avalanches, but for the Alps, or like the maybe for the tundra, or like the South Pole, like literally. Because here it's about, probably heard about the Walipini. What's it? It's like the warm place. So the, if you're not in the topic, the main idea is we are putting a greenhouse in the basement. So what happens? The sun is shining. There are days when the sun is like really powerful, and it starts to heat up the earth, you know, underground. And what happens? The earth starts to accumulate like the, it's like a battery. It starts to warm up and warm up and warm up and warm up for the daytime, and in the evening it accumulates the heat. And if we have like 1 or 2 or 3 days that's like really cold, then the chicken won't feel it in the outside, in the inside. But I don't say like the chicken should be there all the time. I'm just telling when it's like a problem, it's like a blizzard in the outside, the chicken go back, and it will be like a really good environment. Probably you will be able to be there in the t-shirt even if it's like a minus 20 degrees in the outside and it's like the wind is blowing like crazy, you know. It will be one of the best places. However, notice something that I did there. So the wall, I'm talking about the engineering part now, like the architecture part, like the cost, you know, it's the money, it's about the money. It's not like a thick layer of concrete. We are anchoring a ferrocrete, like a 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters layer of. So imagine, like, probably we are not familiar with the concept. Like, forget about the chicken, forget about everything. So in the war, like in the World War, the German invented ships that were made from concrete. And they actually did that, and they work like extraordinarily well. And today, even now today, there are sailboats that are like from ferrocrete. So that's like 1 inch, like 2.5 centimeters of concrete, and like a few layers of chicken wire. Because if you put the chicken wire within the concrete, that means it will be like really, really strong, and it won't crack. Like it will never crack. So if you have like a 10 centimeter, like a 4 inch concrete, and you have like one with like 2 or 3 layers of chicken wire, the chicken wire will never ever crack, you know. And if we use that like a prefabricated material, you know, like a plywood, let's say, but it's not a plywood, it's not like a lumber, but it's like a prefabricated ferrocrete. So 1 inch of concrete with a few layers of chicken wire in it, and you put there on the wall, and you anchor it. So the earth that's on the other part will hold the walls, if it matters. Because let's say that's the inside here, and the earth wants to rotate everything in the inside, and we have two options. Like, one, we make this part extremely powerful here, and we make some counter things on the upper part, or we just anchor them here in the inside, you know. And that's like really cheap method. The earth itself, like the weight of the concrete, the earth here, it will stop the ferrocrete to go in the inside. So this is like a really cheap method to build tunnels like that, you know. And you can use that for like everything else, not just for the chicken. So yeah, so the chicken done there. And one really good example is here that the chicken, they are not allowed to go in the lower part. They are just allowed to stay on their wooden pallets. And what happens? Because if it's like really bad weather in the outside, probably if they sit there like for half a day or for like a day, it won't be a problem. They won't be hot. They won't have like an emotional trauma because they are outside. Because 99% of the time they are in the outside. However, why we need the place for on the lower part, and why we won't and we shouldn't ever let them go down? Because on the lower part we collect their poop, and we let them poop, and again we make it in a way that the chicken is not allowed to go like 20 centimeters, like 4 inches, like 8 inches near the wall of the structure. That way the poop won't end on the wall of the structure, so it will be clean. And all of the feathers, all of the poop, all of the mess will fall on the ground. And the ground, what will happen? The poop will fall down and will start to compost and ferment with the food, and we'll put like a particular species of worm there, like the red wiggler. Because the red wiggler, it's a type of a worm, one of the best types of worm to keep, that will crawl out in the night on the surface of the area, and actually they will transform the chicken poop into earth, like one of the best gardening earth. So you just let it there, and what happens? The more the chicken they poop, the more red wigglers will start to reproduce, and the more earth it will form in the lower part. And basically, you can, if you make like a 3 meter something there, you know, like it's like 3 meters deep. I don't know in feet, but it's like more than you. Then you can leave it there like maybe for years, because you won't be, it won't be a necessity to clean it. And afterwards, when you're ready, you will have like the best of the best gardening earth there, you know. And just like leave it there, and it cleans itself. And don't forget something, because of the fermentation or because of the rotting. I would say rotting occur, but it won't, because while the rotting would occur, let's say, in theory, it should happen, but it won't, because the red wiggler eats it. However, if it's not eating it, and you're, let's say, sometimes here and there, you're putting some organic matter in the inside, it will start to compost. So it will be like really warm in the winter for them. And I'm saying again, it's not like you want to make them warm. I'm just telling it could happen. And that version will be good. I contradicting myself, because I said, oh yeah, chicken won't need the warmth. Yeah, it's true. However, if you want to be cool with them, why not? And the third one, if you want to hit like push like really hard with the chicken in the spring, then maybe the small chicken. And again, I'm not in the topic. I have no idea when the small chicken will start to hatch. You might be able to let a smaller area for the small, like the really small chicken, to just be on the lower part because it's warm, So maybe it's just December or it's like January, and you wouldn't be able to let the chicken in the outside. Like I'm talking about the small chicken, like not even for a minute. They have to be under a lamp. It's warm, and it costs you like a lot of time and energy and like real estate to keep them. And this way, maybe like 80% of the tunnel is for like the chicken and the poop falls down and this and that. But maybe 10% of the tunnel you leave for the newborn chicken, and they're like on the ground, but just on one position, And they are keeping themselves in the warm. And sometimes where the red wigglers are going up, maybe they even eat them. Or sometimes maybe you let the chicken on the lower part to collect from the red wigglers because they will reproduce like crazy there because they are in the warm. Because if you don't keep the red wigglers in a warm environment, they will die. However, if they are in the walipini in the lower part, probably it will be warm enough for them to survive. And it's like really cold. Let's say if it's really cold there, you can put some organic materials. Maybe you cut some grass, red wigglers, and what happens? They will hide in the compost because the second they have the poop and it was to produce heat, and the red wigglers for like a week or two or like a few days they can hide there. However, probably because they're in the walipini, there's not a necessity for that because it's already warm all year without the rotting, if it makes sense. So it's like a small ecosystem that drives itself, and it's like on autopilot. I didn't talk about what you need to buy. I didn't talk about persons. I didn't talk about equipment. It's something that runs itself. It's one thing that I probably didn't think about it enough, that in a way you have to make a tunnel. You need to make the tunnel in a way, but that one part is probably lower because the chicken don't like to hide in the lower part. Usually they want to go up. So probably if you're making the tunnel, the entrance should be in a way that it's like lower than the tunnel because usually they want to go up. And the fourth time, that's like really important. If you make the tunnel, make it in a way that the entrance, as I told you, it's in the lower part, so all the heat captured, it remains in the upper part because the heat wants to go in the upper part. So if you have like a small hole in the lower part, then the chicken will be like able to go there. If they fear, they go on the outside. If they fear that they are cold, they go in the inside. And it is the same with the weather. If it's raining, they go in the inside. If it's like windy, they go in the inside. It's a good weather, they go outside. And even so, if a fox or like a snake or something managed to go in the inside, probably they won't be able to capture the chicken because they are like 3 meters above the red wigglers or like the other things. So it's like a separation. It's like really hard to the wild animals to get to the chicken. It's like almost impossible. And even so, if you put like a motion sensor or like a heat sensor in the lower part, then it's like really easy for you to know like, oh, okay, now we have like a fox there, or now we have like something, and you can send your dog there, or you can push a button and something happens. I don't know what, but it's like really easy because they are separated. Because if you think about it, if you're like in a farm, usually you have a farmland, and in the farmland there are like a lot of animals. If you have them like donkeys or like eagles or like a lot of movements can be near your chicken coop, and you can't separate, and there's not an option for you to know like what kind of animal is there now that can harm my chicken. But in this way you absolutely know there's something there that shouldn't be there because the chicken are in the upper part, and there's no way that something should be go down there and it's moving. And if you have a camera and you have some buttons to push, you might save your chickens in time. Even they don't have the possibility to go up because they're like 2 or 3 meters, like 6, 7 feet above the danger zone. And look, on the upper part, you have not just one but 2 layers of insulation or like polytunnels, because this way, let's say if you have like a area with like foxes or bears or like wolf, probably you won't put a nylon sheet, you will put like something stronger, you know, like a polycarbonate, or you put like there uh, acrylic sheet, or you put there like glass, something that's like more powerful, or you can put like a chicken wire or something, because even if like a predator comes, you have like a layer of chicken wire. And because there are like two layers there, imagine it's a greenhouse in a greenhouse. So not that you are warming up on the upper part, like the whole structure, you have it another layer. So the earth that's under the, or like in between the two layers, it's warming up in the daytime even more, you know. So you're like an avalanche in an avalanche, you know, or like a wave on a wave on a wave. You're capturing the energy from the sun. See the logic? It's like it's layering. It's not like one good idea. There are like many. You have to go do like 3, 4, 5 things at once, and it will be perfect. And notice now we are the sixth video. So here, maybe you're like in Abu Dhabi or like Dubai, somewhere where it's like really really hot, and the main idea is the same. However, it works totally different, because here the chicken will hide in the basement from the sun, you know. They will hide, and the red wigglers will be protected as well, because they won't fry. They will be like in a cool temperature. The chicken as well, so when the sun is like the hottest, they will go in the inside. But probably in the mornings and in the evenings, because there's like a lot of sun anyway, they will go outside, you know, like it. Yeah. And notice here, like the upper part, it's moving, so you can move it. And like obviously you won't make it like transparent. I think I forgot to change the colors. Here you make it like not that transparent, you make it like maybe a material that's like painted, and it lets like zero or almost nothing in the inside, you know, like the light. So it will be almost everything in shade. Or you just make like a few little windows on it, not windows, but like you let the light come in, but not in that quantities. Let's say the weather is like you have like a wind with like 1 or 2 kilometers per hour. Probably you will be able to create like a 4 or 5 kilometers per hour crosswind if you open them both sides. So if you have like a little small wind on one part, probably the wind or like the air will try to go to another part, because it will be like easier for it than going, you know, around the whole construction. So probably here in this version I will go a little bit upper than with the previous version, because this way when the wind wants to go in one direction, it will be easier for it because of the pressure. It will suck in the air from the outside, and the movement of the air caused by the air pressure difference will cool the chicken naturally. It will ventilate them. So here you go with the angle a little bit upper, and you open it, you know, when it's the case. So now we're at video 7a and 7b, and here the good part is let's say that it's totally different, because here you have like the upper part, and one part is like really up, and the other one is like this way. And what happens if we have like a 1 kilometer per hour wind, let's say, then all of the air, all of the pressure will want to go on the other part, so it will create a wind even more naturally and even more cheaply, let's say. So the cooling effect will be like even more. And probably like the climate that we choose here, it's not like a desert, but I'm telling you, if it's like a area that it doesn't have like wind that much, and it's like really hot, you can use it for like you can use like the power of the winds, you know, like the pressure differences to cool down the chicken. And now we're at video 8a and ab. Probably I just tell it for myself, because I will edit the videos in the background afterwards. So here the difference is, before now, all of the roof, it was this direction. However, if we change the form to this direction, what happens? When the wind comes from here or from here, it's literally pushed in the inside. And think about the air like a liquid, you know. If there's like a pressure difference, because here the pressure is like not that much, but because they start to, like the air molecules start to get like pushed in a way, it will go down, and the airflow will start to increase, so that will cool down the things. And you won't let the air cool down directly the chicken, because if you think about it and you watch the images, there's like another layer in between. but the airflow actually will cool down like the nylon or like the poly tunnel or like the glass that you have there. See the logic? So you have like a big opening, the air is coming, let's say, with 1 kilometer, like 2 kilometers per hour. That's literally you don't have wind. And here you create wind from thin air. And you won't let the wind directly on the chicken, but you put something between it, like a glass or like a nylon. It doesn't matter, but it will cool it down. And sure, you won't make like the upper part, you won't make it transparent. You make like another material, or you like double it for the, not double it, you put like, you paint it black, or you put another material in it that it's not that transparent. And in the winter, you leave it like clear, and in the summer, you leave it like something that it's not letting the light that much in the inside. See? So things are easy. And I don't know, like nobody's thinking about it. Everybody builds chicken coops that looks like little tiny houses. I don't get those. They are beautiful, but I don't get those. And the chickens stay in the same poop in various versions, but the houses look the same. And afterwards, you have to go there and you have to put like sawdust to clean it up. I'm not into that. I'm lazy. I don't want to work. I want the chicken to do whatever they want. I want the chicken to go out. I want the chicken to play in the outside, to eat butterflies if they want. And I don't want to know anything about it, just to eat the chicken after all, because I'm on a carnivore diet. So yeah. So and probably if you're a vegetarian, you're not watching that video, so you can associate with me. So 9A and 9B. So that version is like built for the winter. That's built for the avalanches. That's built to sustain like the coldest weather. Because look, so the red wiggler, it's in the lower part. You can see it like the lady is stepping on them. And probably the chicken are above the lady. So the chicken are not allowed on the place that I told you. Like that's the place for the red wigglers. And in time it will fill up, like maybe a few years or something, because you don't want to do nothing. And it's made like the width, it should be something that the bobcat can go in the inside, not the anybody that like the machinery that will take out the chicken poop, that will self clean itself, and you will be able to sell that. So on the upper part, notice that you won't have like a greenhouse effect on one part. You have like a double greenhouse above it. And notice that the layers, it's not like one greenhouse here, let's say, it's not like one polytunnel here, and you have like something above it immediately, but you have like a huge difference here, maybe 6-7 feet, I don't know, like 2 meters. So you have like a space in it, a space in between. And what happens? So the sun comes here, it starts to warm up the earth, and the earth, it will be warmer here than if you wouldn't have that. So if you have the chicken in the inside, or you have like fruits or vegetables, it doesn't matter. The idea is that the earth in that position, it won't be that cold, because you already have like a greenhouse number one, and afterwards you have like a secondary greenhouse. Yeah, it's like, I'm telling you, it's like an overkill of an overkill of an overkill of a chicken, because here, if it's like you have sun in every 3 days and it's like a -20 like all the time, even so you'll be able to sit in a t-shirt. And everything, if you notice it, everything is like really really low. And what that's good for, you don't have the wind, so the wind won't be able to cool your structure. Why? Because it's like hidden, it's like aerodynamic, it's hidden in the underground. If you have like a really 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 strong wind, not that it won't blow away your construction and you won't have to pay like extra for the counterfighting the wind's power, that's like a lot. No, that's one thing, it's like saving the money. It won't cool down your structure, because all of the wind, it's moving above it. So yeah, you're saving the heat here as well. So video 10A and 10B, that's the best shape if you're like living in a northern country, let's say Norway, Finland, Alaska, Russia, because if you're going northern, the sun in the winter area will be like way 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 lower. So if you have like a gap like that, there's no way you will have sun in the winter in the northern hemisphere. So maybe here, like in Middle Europe, we can get away with it with the first versions, you know. But if you're like in Anchorage or like Finland, you need to be at like that kind of shape, because you even a little bit more like open to the south, because you won't get the sun won't go that much in the inside, so you sacrifice the aerodynamic part, or like the not going in the outside that much, but you will gain like a lot of heat this way, you know. So you have to think about it. It depends, you know, like the location, the microclimate. I'm just telling you like the big picture here, you know, so you will be able to follow it. And notice here again with the double greenhouse effect. So you have like one layer here and the other one is going way above it, you know. So the outside cord won't be able to get to the inside greenhouse that easily, because it has to go through the preheated earth that the first greenhouse creates. See? And I put the difference like meters and meters away from it, like maybe 6 or 7 feet, because I didn't want the first greenhouse to be near the second one, you know. See the logic? And you gain a lot of thermal mass here, because it doesn't matter. It matters if you have like a 3 degree, like slightly above freezing point, or you have like a 15 degrees Celsius, you know. It's like a huge difference. So look, 11A, the video 11A, that's the version you should do it in a place there's like constantly raining and it's moisture all the time, because that works out perfect. And let me show you why. So imagine you have a small wind, it's pushed from that direction, it goes up, the pressure starts to build, it builds, and afterwards it will go in the inside the structure. And what happens? Because you have the greenhouse effects in the inside, so you have like a transparent something, that means in the inside of the building, it will be almost always warmer than in the outside. It's like inevitable, it will happen, you know, if it's not like a concrete something or like a 1 meter thick of earth on the upper part, but it's like a polycarbonate or it's like a polytunnel material, then it will be warmer in the inside. And what happens? The moist air will go in the inside, and when it goes in the inside, it will get and it will warm up instantly. And what happens when cold, moist air gets in a warm place? The moisture content will go down, because the warmer the temperature, the more water it will be able to hold. So if, let's say if in the outside you have the rain and it's like a 100% moisture. So basically it's soaking wet. When it will come in the inside, even if it's raining for like 2 weeks non-stop, it will dry out on the instant in the inside, because it will be even like 3 or 4 degrees temperature difference. That's almost nothing, you know. It will take up like a sponge. It will take up the warm air that's in the inside. It will soak up the moisture from the wet weather, that's like the wet air that's coming from the inside. So in the inside, it will be like bone dry for the chicken, you know. And all of the diseases, all of the things in like a bone dry environment won't do that well like in a moist environment, and it will be like easier for the chicken as well. So yeah, step on it, hop on it. And look at the design of 12A and 12B. It's almost identical with the first one, however we have like a 30-degree angle. And why we choose that? Because if we have a 30-degree angle, that means we don't have like a rotational force from the walls, so nothing will collapse in the inside because it's already collapsed, you know, like the Great Pyramids. They won't collapse because they already have the angle that it's kind of collapsed, you know. And the second one, here on the angles, like the 45 or like 30-degree angles, sorry, not a 45, like a 30 something, I forget the angles because I made a calculation, maybe you use the Gordon ratio angles, whatever. So you won't let the chicken to sit here, because if you let them sit there, it will be like feathers, it will be chicken poop, it will be like a lot of diseases. No, the chicken are not allowed on the lower part, you know, on most of the places. Or maybe they are allowed, but just sometimes, but not in the angles, you know, because it won't be good for you. I told you like a few times why. But the all of the chicken poop will go on the lower part, where like the men are standing on the video. See the logic? So that's video 13A and 14A or B. And I'm not telling you why it's like that, but you tell me. Please comment below why I draw them like that. What's the difference? What's the advantage and what's the disadvantage? And I would be happy. I would be more than happy if you like comment below. And look, 50A and 50B, it's one of my favorites related to the chicken coop, because here something strange happens. Like I told you, like that's the shape. The wind is coming from this direction. However, we are not making like the openings in the lower part, because it's like it's a different design. It makes sense in one place, the other one makes sense maybe in another place. But here we double them. Let's say you double the upper part and you open it. And what happens? When the wind comes from here, it starts to build the pressure, build the pressure, build the pressure, and we don't let it slip on the upper part, but we make like a gap here. And what happens? All of the hot air that comes from the lower part, it will be pushed out on the other part. So imagine, so here's your triangle. If you're not having like an opening, then all of the hot air, like the hot air remains in the inside, like in the greenhouse. And here the air goes from left to right, but it's not communicating with this one. However, if you're having like opens, then the hot air can escape, let's say normally. But within this version, we have a triangle above it. So if it's raining, the rain is not going in the inside. But the pressure difference built up from here, it will push the cold air in the inside maybe, and it will grab the hot air from the upper part here and will push it on the other way out, So it's like a more efficient cooling system. But again, you need to think about it, like what's the climate, what's the microclimate, what's the temperature, what to use. So it's not like a solution that works every time. I'm just giving you the tools, and you're the one to decide what tool to use at what climate and what temperature, Or you hit me up and I will show you. So now we're at the video 17, 80A and 80B. So here the big difference is, like on the slopes, the greenhouse effect starts even faster. That means if you have like a moist air in the outside, let's say you're in the Philippines or like you have like the monsoon area, that means that the moist air will be sucked up by the earth on the slope. So the moist air won't go in the inside that easily, because the greenhouse effect starts way earlier. And here, if you notice, all of the chicken poop will go probably on the slopes. However, if you put like ferrocrete on it or something like concrete with a nylon, you'll be able to wash it down like really easily. So if you're like having like an industrial size like chicken coop, probably that will be like a good idea for you, because it's like just really easy to clean. Like I'm telling you guys, like every situation, climate, financial background is different, some size. So we have like a million versions, and that's why I want to show you like a small difference can make like a huge outcome difference, if it makes. So now we are at video 19, and you can see like the big difference being that the greenhouse is open even more, so the airflow is bigger, so you can play with it, sometimes the air like go really 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 strong in the inside, sometimes you're not. And I'm talking about really strong. When it's no wind in the outside, you will be like printing money from thin air or like from nothing. You have like a 1 kilometer per hour, and you will make like a way bigger wind in the inside, and you won't even feel it, but it will like cool down the structure and it will dry it up from the inside, even when it's raining and it's no wind. So it's strange, isn't it? It's like magic, it's like science. And I forgot to tell you, like the wooden slabs that the chicken rest on, I wouldn't make them like rectangular, like a 20 centimeters, like 8-inch thickness, or like a 5 centimeters, because you want, especially in the colder climates, you want to put at least 5 centimeters thickness. That's like 2 inches, because it will keep their feet warm from the lower part. Yeah. So I wouldn't make them rectangular. I would make them like a triangle, because that way if you have like, probably you will have like the chicken poop on the other part that you will have to clean maybe with a pressure washer here and there. However, if you have like that on the lower part like a triangular, all of the dust or like all of the poop won't be able to get there that easily, and it will be like way easier to clean. So that's it. That was today's video, and hopefully you like it. And probably in my most videos I will talk about furniture and sustainable architecture, and now we talked about sustainable chicken coops. And right underneath the video, what should I do next? Like, what sustainable buildings should I comment how to build them? Because I kind of have some ideas, but yeah, we shall see. And hopefully we'll meet in the next video, and see you there. Bye bye.